Hey, what's up all you do-it-yourselfers? My name's Dylan Taylor, this is Dylan's DIY Workshop, and today I'm showing you guys how to make this right here. It's a pair of wooden knuckles with an extra brass weight in it because wood's not heavy enough on its own, and also brass knuckles or metal knuckles are illegal in Canada, so wooden knuckles is the way around that. It's like, come on, what's the difference between this and metal ones? I don't know, so it's kind of a weird law, whatever. So we've got this right here. I go over how to make this in the video, and let's get right into it right now. Okay, so when I was making this, what I did was I used the coping saw a lot at the beginning, and I ended up, my table, it moves too much. I need a heavier table, and I'm going to be working on that in the short term. In a couple months, I'll have a table set up properly that I can use a coping saw on, and it's not going to slide around, and it's also not going to flex up and down, which is just a real pain because when you tighten everything down and the wood's not moving, but then the table moves, it's just a real big pain. So I ended up giving up with the coping saw, and I wouldn't have if it weren't for that. This project could have been done fairly easily with the coping saw, and if that's all you have, or if you don't have one, go to the hardware store and you can get one for like 10 bucks. That will definitely do this project. That, and you need to have a drill to be able to drill those holes, or at least a small hole to use the coping saw to make the finger holes bigger. The brass wasn't necessary. It definitely wasn't. You could have left that solid wood, but I definitely wanted more weight to it. It just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't satisfactory to me, and I think it looks absolutely amazing having that in there. It just adds so much to the visual appeal of it. Also, you'll see that I sandwiched these pieces together, and that is because what I started off by doing was this one, and that's the one that you guys saw me cutting out with the coping saw, I believe. I drilled the holes, and then when I was cutting it, it snapped. And I'm really glad that it did, because otherwise it would have snapped when I went to punch something like this, and it would have crushed my fingers, if not like severed them, depending on how hard you went to try to hit something. You can see that right here, that's where it broke. And it's because of the way the grain's going. You can see, yeah, you can see the lines of the grain. They're going like this. So the way to get away from the wood actually being weak in certain spots is to take a piece that the grain's running this way and a piece that the grain's running, say, this way, and to sandwich them together so that the grain's going two different ways, and now the piece of wood is solid, but it's solid kind of the way carbon fiber works. It's one piece one way, one piece the other way, or even, I guess a better example would be plywood. It's one layer one way and one layer the other way, another layer the other way. And so you can see that I did that with this. I used the thin veneer piece in the middle. Come on, show up. Yeah, I used a thin yellow veneer piece in the middle, and the grain is not quite opposite directions, but it's basically book matched. If you look at the bottom here, you can see that. See how it has that kind of a V pattern because this side's going this way and the other side's going that way? So it's a lot stronger, and then those little pieces of veneer on the face, the middle, and the outside also give it quite a bit more strength because there's more glue in there holding different layers together. It's fairly sturdy, and you could see that from this right here. I didn't feel that, it didn't break, it didn't crush. I'm like, for how thin each one of these pieces is, I'm very impressed. So here's this problem. I made this to this point and I was planning on putting this piece of brass in there just to give it some weight, right? And in Canada, it's illegal to have brass knuckles. However, the law says along the lines of a band of metal, like metal, over one or more fingers, and this is wood, so this is a band of wood that has a chunk of metal in it. It's not a band of metal, so this is legal. And anyways, I drilled that hole thinking that it was the right size for this, and then realized that this doesn't fit. Now, I have the right size Forstner bit, which is 1.25 inches, and you can't drill in something that's already a hole. So what we do is we take another piece of wood, and in this case it's just a crappy piece of pine. Grab our drill here. What we want to do is we want to end up... Well, that's unfortunate for the tabletop. You want to end up with a hole that looks like this, and you can see right through it. That is what we're going to clamp down on top of this, directly where we want the hole. What we want to do is clamp this down right where we want it. So I got a ways to go because I made the clamp way too big. Give me a second. I forgot how C-clamps work. So the reason we can't just use the Forstner bit is because it won't have anything to guide the hole, is what the problem is. To start the hole, that's what that pin in the middle is for, so that it doesn't wander all over the place. So we're just going to clamp that down really good, and yeah, it's not going anywhere. So clamp that down really good, and this is what it looks like. We've got the knuckles down there and then this hole here. And so what this hole is going to do is guide this to start it. See, it's basically like it's centered on that pin on the end, but we don't have the center because we already drilled a hole. And a woodshop teacher taught me that trick a long time ago, so let's give it a try. I think we're through the last layer, I think. Take that clamp off of there, and oh yeah, we were well through. It's okay, this table is being replaced very soon. So now we have our bigger hole, and we used a Forstner bit, and we didn't have to plug it with another piece of wood, and that is a snug fit. Oh yeah, that definitely feels a lot better now. It's got a little bit of weight to it. That's nice. That is nice. It's not directly center. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit crooked. If I push it up, maybe you can see it better. It's a little bit crooked, but it's not going to bug me. So that might get epoxied in. I don't know yet. The next big deal is, see how there's still white here in the finger holes? Well, you have to make them oval so that when your fingers are in here and your knuckles are bent, because yeah, right now your fingers are kind of round, but when you bend your knuckles, it turns into about an oval. Like right here is taller than it is wide. So we have to use something to make this an oval, and I'm just going to use a Dremel with a sanding disc. So let's go ahead and do that. So I got back to actually sanding this, and the way I sanded the finger holes was I used the Dremel, and I just used it like this. You know, that's how a Dremel works with that sanding bit. That works very well, and it takes off quite a bit of material. That was really nice, and yeah, definitely use that. I think I just skipped over the part where I stopped using the coping saw and I went to the bandsaw. I used the bandsaw because it was that much easier. It was so much easier. It took a lot less time, a lot less stress, and it's definitely 100% possible with the coping saw. Like I said, it's just going to be much faster with a bandsaw. So coping saw if that's all you have or can afford, bandsaw if you have the luxury. Just two different ways of being able to. So this is coming together really nice, and I just was not happy with the way that this, the Dremel here, the way that that burns maple. I just really hate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a hand file, just a set of needle files right here, different shapes to get this smooth and get rid of all the burn marks. You could barely see them. There's a good example right there. So let's get rid of that, and we're going to use the flat file here. And so you just, doesn't even take that long, honestly, and it's probably because I make so many pipes. I'm always using hand tools like this, so I'm just used to how long it takes, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's taking as long as maybe somebody else might think it does. Somebody who's used to only using power tools. I've noticed when making small things like this and small things like pipes that power tools will get the job done extremely fast, but it's hard to be completely accurate with them, and they're often too powerful. Like shaping tools, like big sanders, they're often too powerful, and they'll end up just eating the wood and going way past your line if you're not careful. Here we go. I got rid of a lot of it. So I'm just going to keep going here with all the hand filing. I'm just going to try to get this paper off, and then at that point it should be done, and I'm really liking this. Like it's already functional. So here, right here. That I didn't feel that in my fingers at all. Like if I like that hurts right here, but you saw that. So anyways, file work, and I will see you guys in a second. And now we're back to sanding. Still some on the brush, so we're good here. See how much of a difference that makes? It's so much harder to see this on camera. It just never does it justice, but it looks so much better. The whole thing does. Wow. Yeah. You can kind of see it on the maple. See the difference between the two? A little bit, maybe not. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do like these. If you guys want a pair, if you want me to do like a run of them that look like this with the brass in them and the maple with the yellow on it, if you guys want me to make a few more of them and then sell them on my Etsy store so that you guys can have some, let me know, because when I sell stuff on there, it definitely helps out being able to actually make these videos and give them to you guys for free, basically. And that's what I've been doing for 2 years now, is making videos and just giving them to you guys. So any little bit you guys could help out is greatly appreciated, which is a plug for my Patreon, which there's a link in the description as well. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to buy a pair of these, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make some more and I'll throw them up on my Etsy store. If not, that's cool too. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please share this video with a friend. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a big old thumbs up. We'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.